Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Second episode of the week, back on Friday. I'm joined by a good old buddy, a good old pal, long-haired guitar wizard, vocal god. I'm Space Now. Mike from the Jailbirds, welcome back, buddy.
Hey man, how's it going? Quite the intro. Thank you.
Right. That's the thing. I just start rambling and eventually I stop at some point. That's just every episode of this podcast. Oh no, it's good to see you, man. It's been a little bit since we've talked and just like chilled out, which is good. So talk about what's been happening with the good old Jailbirds. What's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, no man, it's good to see you too. Absolutely. Especially during COVID, it's nice to see a familiar face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, recently we've just, tried to release some music. We put out I Will Move On in February, and yeah, it's been going pretty good. We've got that going for us, and a merch bundle that we're kind of pushing right now, and yeah, that's what we're doing the content for later right now, basically. You know what I mean? And so because our EP is coming out soon, so got to get all that stuff going. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, although it's kind of challenging, of course, with COVID and all the restrictions and stuff, and we want to do it properly and safely and stuff. So it's very limiting sometimes.
Yeah, how has the new single, because like you started dropping the singles for this upcoming EP like when, like May?
Yeah, I think Watery Grave
May or June?
I think it was June 1st.
Yes, it was June 1st, right? So June 1st, you're a couple months in the pandemic. Now we're on the verge of passing a year since this whole shitstorm got started. Like, how has the release cycles been for the singles from Watery Grave to Dull My Brain to now I Will Move On? Like, what's been a significant difference you've seen?
The biggest difference now, I think, is we're kind of noticing new faces with I Will Move On, and I think part of that is just because the timing. Everyone's really sick of COVID, right? Everybody is, and I think the song I Will Move On kind of resonates in that way with the time a little bit more, and so I think that this one's going really well, similarly to Watery Grave. It got picked up to Hard Rock by Spotify, the playlist or whatever, so that was really cool. And really, it's been kind of weird, right? Because you can't play shows, you can't do the thing you're used to doing, and it's like, how do you still reach people, right? So we've been trying to, we've created a bunch of ads and stuff, and we're putting those out on Facebook and Instagram and such, and trying to reach new people and stuff, and because really that's the goal with playing shows, right? So we're like, how do we just do that in a different way? What is everybody doing right now? They're on their phone. They're on their computer, because what else is there to do right now, right? Like that's it. That's all you got. So let's just try to put ourselves in front of that, right? So that's kind of all we've been really focusing on is, music videos, photos when we can, and then, obviously the song, and then virtual concerts really hasn't been an option for us recently. We did a couple of like real shows like in the fall, but that's something we're exploring now. But yeah, it's been pretty weird for sure. I think that all the releases really felt the same to me, because it was just like, it didn't feel like anything, because it was just like, here's the song and we're not playing a gig. We're not, you know what I mean? That was what I'm so used to that. So, but yeah, the response has been pretty killer. So, I mean, that's always, awesome to hear that people are liking it. So that's kind of that's our fuel right now. It's just, just seeing, our fans and stuff liking the single we put out. Like that's all we got. So, that's what we're going on.
It's difficult for you guys. Cause like, wait, first question though, is Watery Grave still on the Hard Rock playlist? Cause they kept it on for months.
It just got taken off actually last week.
They replaced it with I Will Move On.
Yeah. I Will Move On is now on there, but, they were both on there for about a month, which is kind of crazy. And that's just insane. I don't know. Someone must like us over there.
Not a bad thing to have over at Spotify, but it's good to see that you guys are being consistent and putting out content, but it's also that challenge of, you mentioned the people being on the phones. And this was something I just kind of delved into a lot with Harley from Deadbeats on the episode that just came out today, but for you guys 2 days ago. And it's interesting because the campaign focuses are so diverse now because you have so many different avenues to try and promote digitally, but also trying to sift through the noise to stand out in the campaigns without being able to physically sell what you guys are doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm just so curious what it is going to look like after this, because obviously when you guys are able to go back on the road and tour, that's what you guys are good at and that's what you're known for. And so how much do you think you're going to carry over? Like, have you picked up any new like skills or content ideas or anything like that that you're going to carry over towards like future campaigns once you're able to tour regularly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely changed the game forever. In terms of like, I think now there might even be some sort of market for it, even when shows come back. Like I'm talking about like live stream shows and stuff like that. Because yeah, you can play to somebody in Germany from Canada. That's kind of cool. Like you can't really do that cheaply, right? You gotta fly there and stuff. So I think, yeah, for us, really, what we're gonna carry over really is like all the stuff that we had to learn. Really, is like we were forced to learn how to do this other stuff, and it was great. It's a good thing, because I think we have a better understanding of how we need to be putting out our music and stuff, which is super important. And it'll definitely carry over. We'll never unlearn these things, and we'll always have now that the content ideas, like you said, like a lot of it is based on COVID. And although like we want to take it farther, right, it's kind of restricting in that way, but like we had to be creative with a lot of different things. And I think especially Cody, our video director, he has been a wizard with it, and I don't know how he put together like the I Will Move On video, for example. Like that was shot in like a few hours. I don't understand how he did that, but I just let him do all that stuff. But anyway, that's something that we're going to carry over too, is really just getting creative with like, and it really made us think. What I'm trying to say is like what it made us think of really is like, how do we use our time as wisely as we possibly can? How can we get the most like quality stuff out of this one sort of opportunity? And that being like, we've rented a space to do a video. So, we're paying maybe money to do that or something. And so let's use that for photos, the video, maybe, I don't know, a live recording or something, whatever you can think of. That's kind of what we have to do. And so we're definitely going to carry that over with us and try to like, make things productive like that. I think that was a big one for us, is really, really thinking about getting really nitpicky with our time and being like, okay, we need to make sure we're efficient with this stuff. Right. And it's just made us into a better team, really. It's kind of forced us to do that. So it was great. But
yeah, it's been interesting with the pandemic because it's forced a lot of bands into that position of digital content mindset. Do you guys think you would have actually gained the skills and knowledge that you have if things were still running as normal as they were, or you think you'd still be kind of chugging down the same path?
I think I don't even remember ever considering a live stream show before COVID. I don't think it would ever have been a thing, until it was like you had to do that or nothing, right? Yeah, that's interesting, because like with like, sorry, I'm kind of blanking here.
It's all good. Take time.
Question again.
Do you think you would have do you think you would have been continuing on the same path if the pandemic didn't hit?
Okay. Totally not, because for a few reasons. Yeah, like I said, like the live stream thing, that was never even a consideration. And then the other big thing was our touring schedule at the time got completely canceled. And so I think that because the result of that was us going, okay, now we have all this free time. What can we do in that free time? And part of it was learning all this stuff and maybe thinking outside the box and stuff. So we wouldn't have done that had we continued to play shows, because our plan was to just continue playing shows. Like that was it. Like that was our whole summer, fall, like we would have been playing now, right? Like all this whole time. So we would have never had a chance to breathe and really think about it and do it, right? And really that's what we realized once we were forced to not play, is that we were maybe not focusing on things that we should, right? Because we didn't have any brain space for it. We were playing all these shows and doing all these things. It just didn't work, right? So I think we would have maybe eventually figured out the process we kind of did, but we would have never like considered like live streaming or things in the same way. You know, obviously like doing live streams on Instagram and stuff has always been around and stuff, and that was something we had done a few times, but not to the extent of this, right? I think it would have been a slow slope to it, right? But it wouldn't have been just a drastic change like it was. Yeah.
It's just fascinating to see the development and the evolution, because we went from things, you know, shows and all that shit, to being forced into an environment in which many of us weren't as versed in, including myself, because I publicly disclose my hatred of social media in all forms, and currently now I'm developing a TikTok career apparently. So I'm just a big what's that fucking expression? I'm a big hypocrite, essentially. I'm just a big hypocrite. But it's just trying to wrap my head around all this. And something I actually want to pick your brain with the live stream stuff, because I think something that hasn't really been talked about as much is whether or not the viability of live stream shows in different territories, whether that's through a method of geolocking or something along those lines. Like, but the thing is, there's always ways around it. What are some of your thoughts on like that? Because you wouldn't be able to do a show as frequently unless you somehow are able to geolock depending on location. So like you could, if you do just Canada, you could hypothetically do province to province, maybe, depending if the technology's there or not.
Right. And you mean like kind of like exclusively only giving it per province?
Yeah,
kind of
like putting a lock on it, so anyone that's outside of that territory.
right.
Almost kind of similar to what a radius clause is, but in a digital format.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't really considered that before. Because it would make it kind of exclusive then, right? And you would have maybe, yeah, I see the reasoning behind it. That's interesting. I feel like that could become a thing. I've heard a lot of people kind of talk about like what it's going to be like when it gets back to normal or whatever that might be. And it's like, you know, you could have bands doing a couple nights in clubs, and then the next night is a live stream or something, right? And you think about it, like you wouldn't have to drive to the next town. You could theoretically do it at the same venue. And then you're also making money that way, and you could do this region idea. That would be brilliant for that, I think, because then it would just maybe give people an opportunity. In one way, it would give people maybe an opportunity to see a show that they couldn't get to or something like that. That's really cool, because there's obviously no seating limit or whatever on a live stream. So that'd be really sick. I think there's like a really, like, it's going to be interesting how it all turns out, but I think it could be really cool. You know, it's like a cool hybrid of it, honestly. And I don't think it's going back. Like I said before, there's a new, it's been so long, you know, and there's like a new sort of normal. And so it's going to be really weird to transition back at this point, I think. And so it'll definitely be like some sort of child of it, right?
Yeah, the music industry, it's been prolific in terms of how slow it evolves.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like when you look at the music industry versus the technology industry, like the technology industry is miles and miles and miles ahead, while the music industry is still kind of in. If the music industry didn't get hit with the pandemic the way it did, it would still be chugging along and doing that slow slope incline like you were talking about.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see, because the biggest thing I'm waiting for is when things can go back to a sense of normacy, or a sense where things can go back to a version of what it was. What parts of the industry are either going to relapse back into that, okay, we're back to normal, and that could be on any one, that could be artists going back to whatever they were doing before, agents, promoters, managers, labels, anyone, versus the ones that are continually evolving. Because and I mentioned this once again on the podcast a couple days ago, it was, if you don't evolve you die. And it's also that old expression of it's like a shark, when a shark stops swimming, it dies. So
Right.
You
Right.
have to keep going and keep evolving, or else you're going to be stuck either in some sort of loop in which you're never going to get out of, or it's just going to collapse around you.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean,
Not to
that's,
make it morbid, but yeah.
yeah, like that's something that the music industry has done for forever. When you think about like the crossover to digital, for example, it's a good one. I
Oh my
think
God, that took forever.
it was a reluctancy, you know, it was like a, no, I don't want to do that from the artist's side of things. Maybe it was like, I don't want to only sell a single. I want to sell my album. Right. That's kind of where, you know, maybe it came from. And it was just yeah, people found a way around it. Right. That was the whole deal. But it's, yeah, definitely true. The music industry is kind of like stuck in its ways. People are still using tape and stuff, right? Like, which is great. You know, that's wonderful if you want to do that. Like, but it's just like, it doesn't, I guess it doesn't like, you know, in a small, I guess if you're talking about just the technology of it, it doesn't need to progress that much, I guess. Right. And, but yeah, the business side of it, I guess, is, yeah, the same thing, but it was forced to be put, like you said, it was forced to be put in that position. So it was interesting. I mean, it's completely halted, you know what I mean? Like the whole industry. So it's like, how do you adapt to that? And that's kind of what we're seeing now is, you know, I don't think anybody knew, no one knew it was coming. No one knew what to do. No one had a plan. You know what I mean? There's no like book on how to deal with this or something. And, you know, it was nuts. So,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So we're going to take a quick music break right now and then hear a word from our sponsor, Anchor, and then we'll be right back with Myke from Jailbirds. We'll see you in a few. All right, and that was the music break. And once again, thank you to Anchor for sponsoring this podcast. I'm back with Myke from the Jailbirds. Myke, I kind of wanted to talk to you because I want to do something a little different. I usually don't do these things because I find award shows pretentious. However,
Yeah.
I kind of want the Juno Awards, as you know, we were talking about it briefly before we got started. The nominees were announced for the Juno Awards. For those who don't know, it's kind of the best thing I can equate it to is like it's the Canadian Grammys. Would you say that's at least a fair-ish statement?
Yeah, I would consider that. Yeah, totally.
So, but before we get started with that, I kind of just want to get your thoughts on the concept of award shows, because my issue with award shows, not even just with music, but of any kind, is when it's related to art. I don't like the idea of people competing in art, because I feel like art in general is a universal thing that everyone should be able to enjoy equally and not feel that pressure or anxiety or fearsomeness to compete with others. Like what are your some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think, yeah, it just invites competition, and why would you want to compete with other artists? Like, there's no point. Because we're, it's not like someone listens to your band and they like it, and then they go and listen to another band and they like it too. That doesn't mean that they don't like your band now or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, it never adds up to anything. So I think it's kind of like, I mean, it's definitely awesome. If I was told I was nominated for a Juno, I'd be pretty excited. I think, I'd be like, holy crap, that's pretty cool. But it's, I've won awards and maybe in other avenues and stuff, in other areas of my life and stuff, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's great in the moment, sure. It's nice to be recognized, for something you worked hard on. That's always really good, but it's just kind of like, it's not the reason why you did it. It's not, you didn't write a song or make an album or whatever to do that, to win that. That wasn't the goal. So it's great and it's wonderful in a moment there, but then it kind of like the next day, it's just like, it's just it's just, okay, it is what it is, right? That's how I would feel about it. I think is like, it'd be a cool experience, sure, but like, I don't know, it wouldn't really mean anything at the end of the day, because it doesn't mean you won and then, okay, now my music career is done, I've won, and that's it. You're still going to write music, you're still going to do, you're still going to move forward. So yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it, I guess. Having never been nominated for a Juno myself, so take it with a grain of salt, maybe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think it's wonderful to celebrate the accolades of others, but I think a big thing is just mindset of people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't blame the award shows for this at all. Like, don't get me wrong, they're the facilitators technically, but I feel like I don't want to say this because I might get in trouble. And fuck it, I'm gonna get in trouble at some point anyway. But I think with some artists look at everything or look at what they're doing as a competition, comparing it to other bands. Like, if a band is gonna release a single on the same day, sometimes one of the band's gonna watch the other, or they're both gonna watch each other, or they're like gonna potentially talk shit or something like that. And it's like, it shouldn't matter, because while the landscape is over flooded as fuck with music, and like that's a great thing that people are creating and putting stuff out, it's not good to look at things as a competition, because art should be celebrated. Totally. That's kind of how I look at it. With that being said, let's go over the nominees. The perfect intro. I kind of want to get we'll go over like the main categories, because I kind of want to see like what your guesses are for this.
Okay.
This one I want to start with, because one is at the top, but two, it's the most fascinating one because it's the Juno fan choice.
Okay.
All right. So with the Juno fan choice, obviously it is as it says. People can vote in and select and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if this is one of those awards. I'm not claiming this is true. The Caras, Junos, that the producers get a final say, like the Teen Choice Awards or some shit. I don't know if that's the case with the Junos. I would assume no, right, but you never really know. So I'm just saying that, take it with a grain of salt. But the fan nominees, Ali Gatti, Curtis Waters, JP Sachs, Justin Bieber, Lennon Stella, Le Cowboy I can't say the French names. I'm very sorry. It's not you guys. It's just I can barely speak English. Nav, Shawn Mendes, Tate McRae, or The Weeknd. Out of all those names, who take a shot? Who do you think?
Who do I think was nominated?
No, who do you think would win?
Oh,
think about the market. Think about how the trends were for the last year. The audience response. I have my guess.
See, the only artist, and this is just going to show my lack of pop culture knowledge or whatever it's going to be, but I only know 3 names out of that list.
I mean, yeah, same. No, I know 5. I know 5.
Okay. I don't feel it's bad then. I would. It's stuck between Shawn Mendes and The Weeknd for me, because I know that. Maybe I'm wrong about this. See, this is the thing. I'm going off of.
You're allowed to. This is just our opinions. Don't get salty.
No, I mean the fact I'm about to say, or rather the stat, or I could be completely wildly off about this, but I feel like Shawn Mendes had a really good year last year.
I agree.
I think that
if you compare it to, and I know they did a song together and it's a good song, whatever. Yeah. But Bieber and versus Mendes, I think Mendes had a better year. But I didn't pay attention that closely.
So once again, put a song or something or a record.
They did one track together. I think it was on Sean's record.
Okay.
Justin put out a record too, and in my opinion, because I have to fucking preface that, I didn't find the record that good.
I didn't. Even know it was one. So
I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna say The Weeknd just because The Weeknd had a massive year.
That's what I was. That's why, because they just did
Super Bowl.
So that was, amazing. So that was why I was like, but Sean had a good year or something too. So I guess it could be maybe anybody's game. I don't know.
No. I kind of want to skip ahead because there's a bunch of categories. Let's look at, I'm looking at Breakthrough Group of the Year, and I hate to say that I only know one, and I think you know which one I'm referring to.
Yeah.
We got it. We got to back the Crownlands, boys, don't we?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes, day. I absolutely will back Crownlands for Breakthrough Group of the Year. Country album, no. Oh, this is actually an interesting one. So the alternative album of the year is a very interesting lineup this year, actually.
Okay.
So Pity Party by Curtis Waters. Curtis, I'm sorry I don't know who you are, but congratulations on all your nominations. The Sun and Her Scorch by Dizzy.
Okay.
Pray For It, July Talk.
Okay.
This Place Sucks Ass by Pup. It's a tough fucking category.
Heard of that one.
Heavy Light by US Girls. For me, that's the thing. I don't know. That's tough because Dizzy won. I don't know if it was last year or the year before.
A Juno?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I love July Talk, but I also love Pop.
Yeah.
I'm very conflicted.
It's hard for me to have an opinion because I haven't heard any of those bands. I mean, July but I've heard July Talk. I mean, I know them. But Pop, I've heard a lot about Pop, obviously, and everyone's like in love with Pop. I haven't listened to them, so but I don't know. I would say July Talk.
Yeah, just throw a dart at the board, see if you get it right.
That's the only sound I'm familiar with, so I'm gonna go with that.
There you go. Solely for the reason of I got to see Pup during a Cleopatra secret show in a basement with like 100 other people.
That's pretty sick. Okay.
I will back Pup solely for that. July Talk I've seen so many times, but yeah. Okay. Ooh, okay, here we go. This is the main one I kind of want to ask you. So we're at Rock Album of the Year.
Right.
We talked about this kind of briefly before.
Yeah.
So obviously Crownlands, the self-title is nominated. Congratulations to those guys for that. It's massive.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And because I have a personal affiliation with them, that seeing them get to this point means the absolute fucking world to me, because it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because I know like when I was with them, like 2016, 2017, like this was just a pipe dream at that point. And just to see that it's come this far, just massive congratulations to them. So nominations: Crownland self-titled, Ruthless by JJ Wild, Colorado by Neil Young and Crazy Horse, All of Us by Sam Roberts Band, and A Beautiful Place to Drown by Silverstein. I'm kind of surprised to see Silverstein in that category, but I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah, they do have heavier categories, right? I think.
I believe so.
I'm honestly not familiar with the award categories, but yeah. The only one I'm really familiar with is the Crownlands record. I actually just downloaded the JJ Wild one today, and I started listening to it just because of like I saw Crownlands had posted this, so I went and looked at the category. I saw that, and then obviously I'm gonna download the other ones too because I'm curious now. But for me, I mean, I think I would have to pick the Crownlands record again because like that's the one that I've listened to, and it's amazing too, right? I mean, obviously those guys are like wizards, like it's
literal wizards, like with their hair. My God.
Yeah, literally, and you know, what's the other word there? Figuratively, I guess, maybe not.
Literally and figuratively wizards, yes.
But yeah, they're great. You know, I remember seeing them. The most recent time was opening for Rival Sons at the Danforth.
Oh,
and
how was that show? I want to go so bad I couldn't go.
It was unreal. I mean, Rival Sons is one of our favorite bands collectively as a band and such. So that's always every time I can see them, I'll go. You know, and of course Crownlands too. So it was like double bill. That's amazing. And also opening for Rival Sons. Holy shit! Like that's the dream. Like that is what you could. I'm done my music career. That would be, you know what I mean? That would be the thing for me. You know,
that's the cap. Danforth.
I'm done. That's it.
You don't want to go for an arena. You don't want to do ACC or not Scotiabank Arena.
I don't know if that would
Molson Budweiser. I keep calling everything the old names.
in this moment, I would be the most satisfied with opening for Rival Sons because it would mean maybe you get to meet them and stuff, and they just seem like such cool, you know, humans, and it's just like they make the best music. So it's just like holy shit, just to be like.
I would just be most satisfied going to a show at this point.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you on that. And I mentioned this briefly. For any award, it's very tough to win like the first record, especially if it's like your debut on a major like Crownlands is. It was I love the record. I think it's great. I really liked the Neil Young record as well. I haven't heard JJ Wild's record. I want to listen to it. And Sam Roberts. I'm not majorly big on Sam Roberts, but like I'll check it out. And Silverstein, I do love Silverstein. But yeah, I'm gonna back the Crownlands boys again. If they win it, that's gonna be a massive win for not only Ontario but Oshawa specifically. Like that'd be a massive fucking win. But Dizzy also is nominated for alternative. So Dizzy wins, that's another win for Oshawa. So big up there. Scroll through quick, see if there's anything else. Kind of want to find the metal section because I'm curious who's nominated. Also, shout out to Julian Taylor, nominated for 2 Junos. Congrats to Julian. That's massive. Wow, they really put metal all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, right.
Here we go. Okay, so metal / hard music. I wonder where you guys would sit if you got nominated for a Juno. Where would they put you? Because you're in an interesting middle ground.
It literally says hard music. Is that what
it? I'm not even lying. It says metal / hard music album.
Hard music?
Not even hard rock. It's hard music.
That's okay. Sure, but maybe
it's a pretty big umbrella.
All of the hards, you know, hardcore, hard rock. I can't think of any more hard.
It's a big umbrella.
There's probably a few more. That's probably what they mean. It just kind of sounds funny.
Yeah, weird wording. So let's see. Ballistic Sadistic by Annihilator. I heard a bit of that record. That's a good record. Unconquered by Cataclysm. Also a bit of a good record. Protest's new record. I can't pronounce it. Palimpsest. Did you listen to the new Protest record? I haven't.
I haven't yet. No.
Abyss by Unleash the Archers. That's a good record. I enjoyed that. And Glory, Glory, Aptly Took Helm by Vile Creatures. That's a fucking name.
That's a name right there.
Glory. So it's glory, comma, glory, exclamation point, and then apathy took helm.
Wow.
It's 2 sentences. That's great.
Oops.
I can't see. I want to back Protest because like Protest out of all these bands, I love Protest the most. But at the same time, I kind of want to just back Glory, apathy took all helm just for the title.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty wild title for sure.
Like whenever I've made bets on sporting events, especially like sports I don't know too much about, I literally just look at a name and go, that looks all right.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way. Just pick the first thing you see, really.
Exactly.
Gut, you know?
And last quick thing on the Junos, the Tragically Hip are being presented with the Humanitarian Award for this year, so that's very wonderful. Congrats to them. Yeah, and it's the 50th anniversary for the Junos, which that's great to see. And they're back in Toronto. I don't know if anyone can go, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And also, I think we're Glorious Sons. I thought they'd be nominated somewhere. Oh, there we are. Glorious Sons are nominated in Group of the Year. Ooh, this is an interesting one, actually. Hold on.
Okay, who else is in that one? Yeah.
Arkells, Half Moon Run. I love Half Moon Run. Loud Luxury. I always add an and for some reason. Glorious Sons and the Reclaws. I've been seeing a lot of the Reclaws in the country scene. I didn't follow country that much until like this past year, but legit when I started following it, I've seen the Reclaws everywhere. So they must have had a good year, or they were just promoted a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh, I got to think about this one actually, because Arkells always do well.
Yeah.
They never not do well because they have that like cult following.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're an Arkells fan, I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just mean that it's kind of a cult following. Loud Luxuries, entertaining. My head says Arkells, but my heart says Glorious Sons.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens on the award show night. Make sure you guys are tuning in if you're able to watch it. I can't find the date anywhere. I'm guessing some point soon.
It usually is in April, I think, or May, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Watch the Juno Awards half past eventually. So that's the best thing I can say for it. That's the thing. I'm so curious also just with the award shows, like the future of them as well, because that's another aspect of events that we haven't looked at yet, really.
Right.
Besides live streaming an award show. And you know what always pissed me off about award shows though is when like artists like aren't there to accept an award. I mean, if there's a justifiable reason, sure, like they're on tour somewhere or anything like that. But like the artists that are just like, I couldn't be bothered. I'll just send in an iPhone clip of myself accepting the award.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's just going to be an entire show of that.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's a great way of putting it. It's an entire show of handing it to a ghost, right?
It's a 2-hour Zoom call.
Exactly. That's what it is.
2-hour Zoom call streamed on CBC.
Yeah, everyone's gonna think of it like a work call or something.
Do you think? And kind of last question on award shows, because I'm very conflicted on this question, but do you think award shows are still going to hold the relevancy that they do, or do you think it's going to kind of fade back? Because I feel like over the past few years, people have given less and less of a shit about the award shows and more focused on the controversies at the award shows.
Yeah, I mean, that'll probably be why they continue, I think, right? And I don't know. I feel like they might stick around longer than you think. I don't know. There's a lot of like I don't know when they come on. I don't watch them really. I don't really know anybody that does, but they seem to still have funding and all that stuff. So I don't know. Someone's watching, I guess. I don't know. I don't like for me. If it wasn't there, I wouldn't really notice, right? So, yeah, kind of like I think it'll stick around. It's been like the Grammys or something, right? It's been around for a million years, and yeah, I don't think the powers that be will allow it to die. They'll probably try to find a way.
I think it's just because the general populace watches it still. But
Yeah.
it's also that question of how long until there's not enough people watching satellite TV or cable TV to justify it. It's kind of
Yeah.
that bigger question because everyone's switching over to a streaming service. I swear to God, there's a new streaming service announced every week. I
Yeah.
just started seeing ads for Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Like it's everybody. It's, I think people called it like 10 years ago, like everyone's going to have a streaming service, and everyone cut their cable originally to just get Netflix, right? And now it's like you've got to have this one and that one, and it adds up to the same thing or more as what it was before with cable and all that stuff, right? Like it's getting insane. You have to have this subscription in order to watch that show, and they're smart about it. You know what I mean? They know how to get you on those platforms.
The goddamn exclusives,
especially Disney Plus or which one is it? No, it's not Disney Plus. It's Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime got some good shit.
It's got, but you have to like subscribe to all these like third party things.
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
how they get you. It's literally like a cable provider being like, "Oh, you want this channel? Here's an extra fee." It's the same concept.
We're already paying for this. Like that was the whole point. I got this subscription to watch things, not to subscribe to more things, so I can't watch. It doesn't make sense. Like it's crazy. But they're Amazon. I guess they'll do whatever they want.
What do you think about, like, so speaking of Disney Plus, what are your thoughts on the fact that, like, because theaters aren't going to be a thing as much or are going to cease to exist, I feel like theaters are going to almost get hit a bit worse than venues because movie theaters, I feel the culture around them has gone down in the past few years, kind of what venues have, but like different now because venues, people are like dying to go to shows. Like a lot of us are dying to actually go physically in person to a show. How many people are dying to go to a movie? And tying that in, what are your thoughts on like the exclusivity of like Disney's dropping? Oh, like they just put out a new movie on Disney Plus, something with a dragon or something like that. I saw like one ad for it. I didn't really look at it.
Yeah.
But it's like the premium access. It's like $35.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking nuts. And the thing is they can do that because it's theirs.
Exactly. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like personally I love going to the movie theater, and I just thought of this now when you said it. I haven't actually like gone, oh, I'm dying to go. But I do like it, right? So, but my opinion is with that whole thing, it's kind of been a long time coming with the industry. I used to work at a movie theater and stuff, so I've kind of like, not that I've seen the inner workings or some crap, but like, you know,
you've seen all the strings being pulled.
yeah, you know, like I haven't seen the curtain pulled or anything, but ever since I worked there, I don't know, it just kind of like gave me like seeing the people come and go who were experiencing it, and then also being myself on that side too, going to movies and such. Like it just like everything is so, first of all, everything is so stupid expensive. People are getting tired of it. Like $8 for a popcorn. Like what are you talking about? It took away the free refills and all that stuff too.
Bastards.
Like, ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous.
And when they took that away, that made me so mad. You just remind me how angry that made me.
Yeah, like what do you mean? And they're like claiming it's like a sanitary reason. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's because you want money.
Who died from a popcorn bag? And this is a thing now, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. You're doing it because you don't want it. You want me to pay for another one. That's it. Duh. Like, oh man, don't get me started on that. But like it's just I don't know. They're gouging everybody, and it's crazy to me. And I think that's an industry specifically in Canada. I don't know about anywhere else, but I think it needs a reset in Canada because you know it's kind of a monopoly on the market in a way, and it's just like you don't really have another option, right? And that's kind of the problem. And it's like I think people are getting tired of it all. Just like I said, like you know the crazy prices and like you know, and then the movies that are coming out aren't necessarily like amazing recently. And then it's like,
are you telling me that the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is not I've been roasting that movie on TikTok. I've been roasting the Joker, and no one's called me out on it yet.
I haven't even.
Looks so bad.
I haven't even watched it, man.
I saw the trailer with they brought Jared Leto's Joker back for some reason.
Oh my, why?
Exactly. Why is the question?
Oh man, they really
You need to go after we're done this. Go look up the trailer, and then you're gonna message me and be like, "What the fuck is that?" It's the same movie, but Zack's has okay. No, it's not disrespectful against Zack Snyder or Zack Snyder. He left the Justice League movie because he lost his daughter in a not very nice way. I'll say that.
right.
And then Joss Whedon, who was behind the Avengers movies, came in and took it over, and a lot of people hated it. But that being said, a lot of people don't like DC anyway.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman was shit. It was.
See, that's what I was going to bring up. That was my last straw. I gave it a chance with that movie, and I was already on the fence. And I was like, you know what, this one, I don't know. It seems okay. I'm going to go see it, and it lost me. You know, it was so just I don't get it. Like, they're good characters. Like, why can't you do it? I don't get it. Just do it right once, please. Like, I don't understand.
The second I heard them cast Affleck as Batman, I'm like, it's done. We're done.
Exactly. Like, what were you thinking? It's crazy. But yeah, the part, spoiler alert, the part where he's like about to kill him, Batman's gone, and he says the name, and then okay, Martha. No problem. Now we're friends. Like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, oh man,
it makes sense to someone, just not most people. I lost major faith after Suicide Squad because the first trailer was great.
Yeah.
The second trailer was okay, and everyone's like, okay, we're gonna give the movie a chance. And when I was in the theater, I collectively felt the energy of the theater kind of just drop after like the first 20 minutes.
I know exactly what you mean. I felt the same thing. I went to go see it, and it was like I was looking around at one point, and everyone was like had the same look. Everyone was like, "This is it. We're watching it right now. Is it going to get better?" And it never did. So it was disappointing.
I mean, Jared Leto changed his voice like 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
Which also bringing it back to theaters, then there is the positive to the theater. Like, I remember my favorite. And it was such a good bad movie, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
I went to Spider-Man 3 the night it came out in theaters.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
The theater collective, there was a hum. You know that energy when everyone's like really into a movie, or like you're seeing a horror movie or something like that, and just everyone's just there, like really feeling it. That's the one thing I would miss about theaters is like the energy of the room as everyone's engulfing the same or ingesting the same piece of content. And it's weird because like Netflix is trying to like, you know, they have the Netflix watch party thing, but like, that's not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same as because one, I don't want to talk to people during a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And two, it's just not the same. I don't know, but yeah, apparently the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is 4 hours.
Oh
it's my 4 hours.
Why?
I don't know if that's 100% true, but I heard something of that, and if that's true, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm not watching it. I can't because I don't have the patience.
No time for that. You know, it's a waste of time to do that. Screw it.
I actually asked for a refund when I left Batman versus Superman. I actually asked for a refund because I'm like, this was not worth the money.
Wow. Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, it wasn't. It really
I wasn't the only one. There was a line.
Wow. No way.
That's how poorly received it was. Where I saw it.
Yeah. I don't even know if I finished it. I might have walked out early, which I never do. I never do that. I don't like.
What movie did I walk out of? I've walked out of one movie, The Love Guru with Mike Myers.
No way. Yeah, fair enough.
Where it took place in Toronto for some reason.
Yeah,
and he's working with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, exactly.
I just remembered that whole premise.
It makes no sense.
And Justin Timberlake is in there as a Quebec person.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Oh God,
it's just ridiculous. It's like
What's the worst movie you've seen? Like the absolute worst movie. I have mine. It will always be the top of my list, and everyone gets mad when I say it.
The one that I'm thinking of now, specifically thinking about theaters. I went to see with my girlfriend, as you know, it's always me and Jess going to movies and stuff all the time. That's what we kind of do. And
I mean, not now, but
not now, not past year, but you know,
yeah.
What was it called? The Witch. You know that one? The really like the one
That
about,
already sounds not great.
and it, you know what? It was like really well received by critics and stuff, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this movie! It's the best thing!" And it's like we went to see it thinking that, and one of our friends who's like a movie buff or whatever was like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! You have to see this movie." We're like, "Great, let's do it." It was awful in my opinion. I was so fucking bored the whole thing. I'm not a movie connoisseur or some shit, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But my opinion is I saw that and I was like, this is awful. Like what's going on? Nothing was happening. And then like all of a sudden there's like a fucking crow or something. I don't know. It was just it didn't make any sense. Like it was just nothing happened.
No, but the thing is with that, you don't have to be a movie connoisseur. And I tell this to everyone, like, especially like if it's tying it back to music. This is a music industry podcast, by the way, technically. Yeah. But at this point, it's whatever it is. But I tell people this, I'm like, the fans and the people ingesting the content are the best people to review it. I don't trust critics.
Yeah.
I go see something first and then I read online about it. So I can see what they're talking about, understand their justification for something.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah,
because the audience, a lot of the time, the audience is going to react differently than the critics. Because like critics will, what movie was it? Like I remember Sausage Party. I went and saw Seth Rogen's Sausage Party, which was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
and the critics, I think the critics were just like fucking bombing it, like giving it low ratings. But the audience reaction was like 90 plus or something like that on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
I don't know. But if anyone is still watching this for movie conversations, I got to say, I don't know how, because the thing is, I always caution this because some people are like, love this movie and they get angry and offended at me when I say I hate it.
Oh, no.
Cloverfield.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Have you not seen it?
I have no real ties to it. I mean, it's okay. It's a movie.
Here's my issue with Cloverfield. The entire fucking movie, it's a POV, which I hate that style of movie.
Right. Yeah.
Except Blair Witch. Blair Witch is obviously the exception. But it didn't work. It looked like someone threw a $5 bill in and said, "Here's your budget."
Yeah.
And then at the end is when they reveal the monster. And the monster is just a praying mantis that they basically just stretched into a big thing.
Yeah.
And I literally walked out of that movie being like, that is the worst. That's the worst movie I've ever seen in a theater.
Wow. Yeah. Fair enough.
And then for some reason it kept getting sequels.
Did
it? Like, it got like, I know they were talking about like a direct sequel that's being worked on, which I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But they had like they had one recently. It had like John Goodman in it. And it was John Goodman in a bunker.
Oh, I think I've seen that one. Yeah. Yeah. And he's like keeping people hostage or something. Yeah. I think I have seen that one. That one was like, I don't know. It was okay.
I would have rather watched Human Centipede than fucking Cloverfield.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Human Centipede.
You've never seen it, eh? Wow.
I don't really need to see it. No. I get what the fucking concept is.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at one bit.
I heard about it. I'm like, I'm good. Hard pass.
Oh yeah, I've seen it a couple times. It's
I've heard about all three. I saw the trailers for all three.
Oh,
people kept sending them to me. The second one made me laugh. The trailer for that.
Second one, yeah. I mean,
the prison.
I think I've seen all three. Or maybe not the third one, but they're all weird.
Well, of course, the premise is ridiculous. But the prison one made me laugh so hard. They're like, what? Okay, let's take the original, sewing 3 people together, and we're gonna add 97 more people to it.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
oh, I don't get it. I don't. Yeah. Get it. Anyway, so we're gonna take our final music break right now, and I'm gonna piece myself back together, and hear another word from our sponsor, Anchor, and then we'll be right back to wrap this thing up with Myke. We'll see you guys in a few.
Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell. In this film, you will see the ease with which this vicious plant can be grown in your neighbor's yard, rolled into harmless-looking cigarettes.
and I can't stop it. Ooh, just one more time, numb the feeling for another moment. But I'm too stuck in my ways, I can't get out of my days. The nights get longer each time, when will my suffering die? I can't get through with no eyes. Oh yeah, I need a change. I need that in my veins. I wanna be numbed and dazed. Oh yeah, I need to dull my brain. Yeah. Wake up and bake my brain. I used to do a little, but it's gotten insane. Small truths wrapped up in a big lie. Convince myself that all I gotta do is try. But I'm too stuck in my ways. Each time my fix gets to raise. Oh no, I'm not gonna lie. Thought my suffering would die by now. I can't get through with no rise. Oh yeah, I need a change. I need that in my veins. I wanna be numbed and dazed. I wanna be numbed and dazed. I wanna be stunned and hazed. I wanna be numbed and dazed. Dull my I can't sleep tonight. I can't sleep tonight. I can't sleep tonight. Oh, my mind flows like a river. Yeah, release me from the chains. Alright. Oh, my mind flows like a river. Yeah. Release me from the grave. Oh yeah, I need a change. I need that in my veins. I wanna be numbed and dazed. I wanna be numbed and dazed. I wanna be stunned and hazed. I wanna be numbed and dazed. Dull my brain.
And welcome back to part 3. Thank you to Anchor for once again sponsoring this podcast. Welcome back to Movie Talk with Matt and Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, but now we're gonna wrap it up on the movie stuff, but I kind of now want to ask you, what's the best movie theater experience you had? What was that movie that you saw in theaters? Everything was perfect. The popcorn was perfectly buttered. The fountain drinks was on point. The movie theater seats were just there. What was that one movie you're like, yes, this is it?
The first thing that comes to mind for me
Cloverfield.
Yeah.
You said Cloverfield. I'm like, all right, the podcast is done.
Yeah.
Bye.
End call. I think it's Hangover for me.
Interesting. What? Wait, the first one?
Yep.
Why Hangover? That's an interesting one.
When I saw that movie, I haven't gone to a million movies with my dad or anything, but I've watched a lot of movies with him and like at home and stuff. And not a lot of things make him laugh, you know? It's kind of like it's a hard thing to do with him, right? Anyway, so we went to see this movie in the theater, and wow, like everybody was laughing, and myself and my dad too. And that was the thing for me, is it was like it cracked him. So like that was a special experience. I was like, okay, this is new, right? And like cackling, I'm talking about, like it was uncontrollable laughter, right? And not now, but the first time I saw that movie, yeah, I was like, this is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my whole life.
I actually just watched it like 2 weeks ago with my girlfriend.
For the first time?
No.
Okay.
Like we both saw it ages ago. It's just we didn't watch back. I say it still holds up. Like,
yeah,
not overall, but I think it still fairly holds up.
I think the initial experience for me ruined watching it again because it was so like, I remember everybody in the whole theater was just, it was loud in the best way in a movie, and it was just like, I don't know, the energy was quite special. I don't know, it was pretty cool. And yeah, I remember watching it like a year later or something, just at home or whatever.
Was it as funny as it was in theaters though?
No, and that's what it didn't hold up, and I don't know if that was because it wasn't as funny, and maybe did the experience make it funnier, or did the experience being so good in that moment ruin everything else because the other things weren't there with it, right? That's the question I have. But I mean, I don't know. A lot of people like that movie, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing, because there are movies where you could watch in theaters and watch it at home and still enjoy it just as much. But then there's those other movies that it's the theater experience that really makes it, whether it's either the sound quality, especially if you're in like one of the newer theaters that has like a full sound, like full surround sound, and it's just the bass is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's great.
Like Avatar, it was made for the theater.
Oh,
like,
I don't even. I saw Avatar 4 times in theaters, genuinely, because I was so mind blown visually by it in theater. I saw it. I saw it in every format. I saw it in IMAX 3D, regular 3D, 2D. Like I was so mesmerized by the movie, and then I watched it at home when it came out, and I'm like, "This, I couldn't even tell you one line from the movie."
Yeah, it's not a good movie. It's all in the moment, you know.
And the fact that there's going to be more.
Is there really? Oh wow.
The guy's been working on them for like, feels like 20 years now. Like, I don't fucking know. Oh. But the budget apparently increased. It was like $1 billion before.
Holy shit.
And now it's more.
Yeah. Oh my God. What are they going to do? Like,
they got the really expensive snacks at the crew tables. That's the only thing I can justify it.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Well, the Marvel movies are close, but you know, people like the Marvel movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
The best theater experience. It's a very weird one for me. This is it's a weird story. It also ties into the first time I tried weed.
Yeah.
I love telling the story because it always makes me laugh. Yeah. So me and my old best friend from a different time, when I lived in Coburg way back in the day, right. We're going to go see it. You're not going to expect this, and most people don't. Paranormal Activity 3, okay. Specifically the third one. Did you see the third one?
I've seen the third one.
Okay, so the third one, it wasn't that great. I mean, none of them are great, but they're the comedy horror movies. I call them because it's like cheesy, but like it might get you like the ending is always the best part of those movies.
Yeah,
but so it's the scummiest Coburg thing you can think of. We went behind a Staples. We smoked some weed out of a Monster can.
Nice.
I'm talking, and this is my first time.
That's awesome.
So that's why it's always so memorable. And then we went to the movie. Obviously, like I was like, whoa, I've never experienced this before. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Get the tickets, get the snacks, get in the theater. Obviously, I'm kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to do for this movie. But like I was excited. I had a great time. But the reason why the movie, it went from like a good experience to possibly the greatest theater experience I ever had, was there's a part, I say it's like 5 to 10 minutes before like the really good part happens in Paranormal Activity. So like it's like about to lead up. It's like if you remember, and spoiler if anyone's seen it, but the movie's been out for fucking ages. They're at the grandmother's house, if you remember this. And it was like shifting between the cameras, and there was like a random slapping sound.
Okay.
Kind of similar to like if someone was like listen to this. That's me slapping my stomach, if anyone was curious. It was like a random slapping sound. And the theater was like weirdly tense because we don't know what the sound was. My buddy, full fucking crank, yells, grandma's masturbating again, and everyone in the theater started screaming, laughing all at once, and then literally like not even 5 seconds later, like a big jump scare happened, but everyone was too busy laughing.
Oh my God.
And that moment, I'm like, this peak.
Wow.
Nothing could beat that.
Amazing. That's quite the story.
I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Holy shit.
I know, but imagine one, that's the first time trying marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, that's him too?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, it was the me. I was the square. But
okay.
like, imagine that's your first you go see Paranormal Activity of all movies, all the possible movies you could have seen at that time.
Yeah, no, that's quite the choice for the first time.
I know, but like, like it could
at a college party or something, right?
So that's the thing, and that's why it's the best first time story, but also just the best movie theater story.
Yeah, exactly. Two for one right there.
Exactly, 2 for 1. Oh, you remember 2 for 1 deals at movies?
Yeah,
they got rid of that shit too, or they like have coupons where it's like you save $1.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing. Yeah.
Anyway, so back to music stuff. Briefly before we wrap this, Mike, what's going on next for the Jailbirds? When's that Tasty EP coming out? Do we have a plan yet? Do we have a general sense? Will we get it by 2024?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
Okay, great. That's all we need to know.
It'll be in the next few months, let's say before the summertime. Yeah.
Before the summertime.
Before the summertime, let's say that. Yeah, there's no hard date yet, but
I would say, do you want to put a little asterisk above that, being like, and then in brackets, COVID depending?
Yeah.
What every company's doing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. In the fine print,
Yeah, that fine print.
But yeah, we're just working on some stuff for that, and yeah, hopefully it's out in the springtime. So it's coming soon. It's on its way. It's currently in motion. So expect it.
And I'm curious. I kind of want to do. Let's do a little. To wrap this thing up, we go from Paranormal Activity, movie theater, absolute absurdity, which I apologize for the vulgarity of that story if that offended you. But it's near the end of the podcast, so if you made it through this far, then good on you.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I kind of want to ask, what are like some of your goals for the Jailbirds? Let's say the world, you're back on the road, you can tour venues. Let's say in a hypothetical sense, you get a full cap venue or like 75%, something that's actually worth playing.
Yeah.
Like what are some of your goals post-pandemic world?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what that looks like, but really the goal for us is to just play as much as we possibly can. That's really what we're gearing up for. And we're kind of sitting, waiting for that to happen basically at this point. But that's, it's kind of always been our goal, and we haven't really strayed from it, which is just to play music. Maybe more specifically, like outside of Canada is a huge goal of ours, something that we would absolutely love to do. And one day we will, and, just a matter of time. And yeah, that, we'll make it happen for sure. And yeah, that's kind of what we're always doing, writing music and just playing it. So, because it's fun.
Jailbirds, one of the hardest working Ontario bands on the rise. New EP coming out possibly before summer. Asterisks, COVID environment depending. Myke, Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for indulging and dealing with my random conversation.
No,
I didn't expect it to go this way, and to me by telling that story. But I knew I was going to tell that story eventually. I just didn't know when.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I've become more personable on TikTok that I'm trying to incorporate that more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, it's good though.
So yes, but Myke, thank you again for coming on. Where can people find you and everything the Jailbirds are up to?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, man. My pleasure. You can find us at thejailbirds.com. All of our social media links and store, everything is right there. You can find everything on our website. And so, yeah, take a look there. And then whatever you want to do, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's all right there for you. So Yeah.
All the Jailbirds links are going to be down in the description below. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching or listening to this on a streaming service, it might be in the About section. I really don't know how the audio stuff works yet. I know I'm like 60 plus episodes in, but I'm still learning day by day.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. Myke, thanks for hanging out, man. I'll see y'all next week for another double episode week. Next week's my birthday too, so we're gonna have a nice 25th birthday special, also known as the Existential Crisis episode.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
All right,
Big
take it easy,
25,
guys. Peace.